Hello my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. I think I'm going to take you guys along for another week of plant related tasks and things because that worked relatively well last time. I think that was more than likely that was the last video that you saw that came out. Just because, again, that's just the way that my life is like right now. My life is being lived in 3-hour increments with a newborn and a toddler. So it's basically, I just try to film when I get the chance, you know what I mean? So if you guys want to join me this week just to get some plant things done, whatever I have time to do, that would be awesome. I would love to have you join me. So this first thing that I want to do, I have a box here because I have a very vague memory of ordering a couple of plants off of Etsy at 4:30 in the morning or something like that. So, you know, it's fine. Not ideal, but if you know anything about having a newborn, you know, they eat all through the night. So I was feeding my kiddo and very sleep deprived and impulsive. So I just made sort of an impulse purchase. Thankfully it wasn't anything astronomical, but I am excited. It's a little bit of a treat to be able to open this. So I just got this in the mail. It arrived maybe 15 minutes ago. So I kind of scrambled to get the kiddos settled, and now we're going to open them. And I should probably stop waving these scissors around because I'm making myself nervous. Okay, so I got both of these plants from LA Tropical Mart. I'm slightly nervous about how it's gonna go, but let's just dig in, you know? See how this goes, right? Alright, the box is near open. I'm not going to show you the front because my address is there, so I'm going to try to awkwardly conceal that. Alright, and now here are the contents of the box. It looks to be nicely packaged. These pieces of paper are taped down. Oh, you can see that. They're actually taped into the box, which is nice. That's nice. They got ultimate stability. And it looks like the roots are wrapped in sphagnum moss, so that's fun. So I will get them into little pots and probably put them, leave them in the sphagnum moss for now, and then put them in my little humidity prop boxes. That's sort of my typical plan with most plants that I get in the mail, just because they're a little bit stressed out. And this is coming from LA, and I'm assuming a very humid and warm environment. Let's pull out the first plant to show you. This one was a complete impulse. This one in particular, the other one I kind of had on my mind for a while. This one I just saw in their shop and I was like, oh, I want that. But it was not on my wish list at all, which I tried to avoid that, but it's okay. Okay, so this is a Synapsis lucens, I believe. Hopefully my brain is not doing me wrong on that. So this is in the little, it's like a little humidity bag for it. That's kind of fun. I'm gonna carefully remove that. Let's get you out so you can get a good look at the plant. So far it looks super healthy, which is promising. Oh, this is so pretty. Wow, okay. This kind of reminds me of Synapsis Jade Satin, but obviously the Jade Satin seems to have bigger leaves, kind of like the Exotica. And this one does have a silvery sheen to it. The leaves are very matte, which is really cool. And I've been looking to kind of increase my Synapsis collection because I really genuinely enjoy growing them. There are a few annoying finicky things that they do sometimes, that I wish they didn't do. Like, I feel like they're pretty prone to shooting off runners and having smaller leaves if you don't have them climbing something. But all in all, when you can get them to be happy, they are really beautiful plants. One of my favorite genera. I feel like I always mess that word up. It doesn't feel natural. But looking at the roots, I don't really see them super clearly. Oh, I guess I can kind of see them. It's really, I doubt you'd be able to see them very much. The next plant, let's get him out of his little cocoon. This was the initial plant that I ordered that I decided, I need more anthurium in my collection. And you know what anthurium I should get? This one. And it's not a crazy anthurium by any means. It's actually a pretty standard anthurium. I think this one was lower. It was more like $22 or something. So I thought it was a good price. I'm actually quite excited about this. I've been having some success with my clarinervium now that it has acclimated to my environment. And that's the only anthurium that I currently have. So I am really excited to branch out and try some other anthurium, particularly anthurium that are, kind of easier. So this one is generally regarded as a somewhat easier anthurium on the scale of anthurium, especially because I don't have a greenhouse cabinet or anything like that. Enough blabbering, I guess. It is an anthurium crystallinum. And let's get this bag off of her so we can get a better look. I will say this is pretty interesting packaging. Well, it looks like she has a few blemishes, which it's fine. I don't, I care, but not like a ton. Like, I had a lot of leaves on my clarinervium when I first got it that had blemishes and they got worse, but now almost all of those leaves are gone and they've grown happy leaves in their stead. So in the long term, the plant will be okay. So most likely, hopefully. But you tell me based on what you think when you see the plant. Okay, this is good enough for now. So look, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. Especially this leaf is definitely the one that takes the cake right here. Wow, oh, that's so pretty. And then of course right here you can kind of see there's a little bit of ickiness on the leaves on the corner right there, some ickiness, but it's probably fine. I'm hoping it's not bacterial, but you know, anthurium are kind of prone to shenanigans like that, so our anthurium seem to be kind of prone to shenanigans with their leaves, so who knows. But yes, anthurium crystallinum, and the roots. Here, I gotta take this silly bag off. I don't know how well you can see them again, but there's some good looking roots right there. So all in all, yeah, I am very, very excited about these guys, even though it was a completely impulsive purchase, but you know, it's a nice little way to brighten up an otherwise fairly exhausting, and I guess maybe dull isn't the right word, but it's monotonous. It's a monotonous week. And speaking of that, I hear my baby fussing in the room over, so he has woken up from his slumber, so I gotta go check on him. But yeah, I'll see you the rest of the week. Hello. I had a few minutes, so I just wanted to show you some of the, I guess, houseplant updates and like new leaves in my collection that I'm most excited about. It's fall, so things are kind of slowing down a little bit, but I figured I would show you some of what's going on starting in my room here. So I'm gonna actually turn off this grow light because it is very harsh. Oof. I also have a headache right now, so less light is probably better. Okay, this one is probably the one that I'm most excited about. It is this new Thai constellation leaf, and if you follow me on Instagram, I've been like sending updates like all week long on my story of this unfurling, and it was just a pleasure to watch. It's not quite as big as this one, but it does have more fenestrations, which is super fun, and the variegation on it is absolutely stunning, so I'm super excited about that. Here is just my strawberry milk syngonium that I potted up. I unboxed this in a recent video, but I just went ahead and potted it up recently. So there she is, and she's got this new leaf that's been kind of sitting there for a while, but she's so pretty. And this is my oh gosh, I always want to say Synapsis when I look at this, but it's Monstera siltepecana. This is my Monstera siltepecana, and she's kind of doing well, but also kind of not doing well. Like, she has some yellowing leaves, but they're older leaves, but I feel like a lot of her leaves have been yellowing lately, but she also has new growth coming out too, so I don't really know what's going on. I might chop her and prop her again, just because like these stems are getting so leggy, and I don't know. She's cute, but I want to see her do better. And then this right here is the newest leaf on my philodendron Florida Ghost, and it's so beautiful. I love the shape of these leaves so much. They're so cool. And it's pretty much constantly putting out a new leaf. And then where I chopped it relatively recently, I don't know how well you can see that, there is a new growth point right there that's coming in where I chopped it, so I'm excited about that. Of course, this gal right here, my variegated string of hearts, is still putting out a new growth, and I've had her, the leaves were starting to get smaller, so I just draped her right there so she gets more light for now. And then on this painted lady, I chopped it up, and here's the stump. There is a new growth point right here that's popping up, which is encouraging, but I need to water her because she is a thirsty girl right now. There hasn't been a whole lot of new growth recently on my Hoya obovata, but it's just been sitting there for a while. I've been treating it with sulfur fungicide because I think that was part of the problem. It was only putting out like one leaf on each side rather than both of them. So I don't know. We'll see if that helps. And then right here, actually, this gal has been popping off recently with a lot of new growth all of a sudden. I don't know how well you can see all those new leaves, but yeah, my Syngonium erythrophyllum, so pretty, even though relatively speaking, she's getting pretty low light compared to a lot of the other plants that are like on these top two shelves. Down here, she's kind of, you know, shielded from a lot of the light that's happening. So yeah, those are like the most exciting things happening over here. And then in this room, next to the south window, this Hoya Motilde, I need to keep attaching her to the trellis right here, but she has so much new growth happening right now, as you can see. It's so pretty, just all over the place, but that's like the main part where I'm seeing it, but like she has a lot of growth points like right there too. And over here, there's more growth, and yeah, she's so pretty. I love her. And occasionally, every so often, my Ficus Elastica Taniki puts out a new leaf, and she's doing it right now. So these leaves are so gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Here, oh my gosh, my hair is like kind of, it's all over the place right now. Over here, I've got my philodendron Atabapoense. Hi, kitty. It is progressing even more right now. See that? And a little bit some of the unfurling is a little bit funky, but I'm hoping that it'll pretty much correct itself for the most part soon. And of course, like, he's got another boy coming out right now. I love this plant so much. And then my Monstera Peru, for the longest time, it was doing absolutely nothing. But now it's starting to do something again, because I chopped it and I think that slowed down its growth. But now there's finally a new leaf coming in right here, kind of an offshoot using the axillary bud. So This is such a pretty plant, and the propagations still have not taken, which is not that surprising because Monstera Peru, yeah, I had chopped this plant a few months ago, but Monstera Peru, they take a really long time to propagate and they often fail, so I'm hoping that they'll take, they're still alive, but they're just not taking very quickly. So I'm hoping that that'll be successful, but if not, I mean, I still have the mother plant, so it's not that big of a deal, but it was, you know, at the top of the pole, so I don't know. It would be nice if it would actually work. Over here, my philodendron mame is also putting out a new leaf, but right here you can see is this new leaf that's coming out, and I'm so excited. I get the most excited about mame leaves because I think that they're so beautiful. So yes, there's that. Hello, mister. You are so handsome. You're so handsome. Yes, you are. And over here, I'm also jazzed about this newest Anthurium clarinervium leaf that came out, and we're almost to the point where all of her leaves are like happy, because this was like the last leaf that I have that was an original leaf, if that makes sense. And of course, like, we went through a period of underwatering and it was still acclimating to my environment, but like this leaf, since it's come out, it has not had any crispiness. It came out in my care, and this is the second leaf to come out in my care, so I'm hoping that that trend continues because it's so pretty. Okay, excuse me, do you see what he is doing? My sir, I know you like it, but you're gonna knock this plant down. He's just like wanting my attention. Oh yes, my String of Hearts Silver Glory has some new growth, as you can see. It's so pretty. We went through a period of not a lot of growth, but it's kind of popping off again, and I think I'm figuring out how to grow this plant better. Very slowly but surely. And while we're here, this is how my Syngonium albo is doing. Some leaves that have come out have been really awkward, like this one. And part of that, and then this one just got snapped off a little bit, so it's just, I need to like get a toothpick and tape that together or something. But this leaf right here, this new leaf, all right, if I can get it. Oh my gosh. This new leaf right here is looking very promising, and there's a lot of new growth. I mean, pretty much every shoot just has more leaves coming in, so it's getting there. She's going through a slightly awkward phase, but yeah, my Syngonium albo, so lovely. Yeah, apparently I'm just excited about everything. And I also wanted to point out this Syndapsis trubia moonlight is also doing particularly well. Lots and lots of new leaves happening. This is a slow grower, I'll admit, and I've had to chop off some runners, but all in all, very happy with how she's doing. This gal is always beautiful. I need to water her soon though. And this guy up here, I think there's been some lower leaf loss as he's been acclimating, and I mess with the roots a lot, speaking of, but yeah, hopefully he does well here. All right, now we are down in my living room with my piano, plants. So actually, I think I'm gonna turn off the grow light here too, because it doesn't look great when I'm getting up close on these plants. So just starting over here, there's my Tenanthe setosa, which this is kind of an annoying thing that's been happening. So if you know what this is, let me know. I think that it's just the extraflora nectaries kind of bleeding through the leaf. Do you see those like little dots? Because it's like sticky on the back, and it's like this weird residue. So yeah, it's happening on a few of the leaves. I don't think that it's pest related, but maybe she does have a pest, so she's like reacting strangely about it. But she does have, I wanted to point out, some new leaves that are just absolutely so pretty. There's another one down here. now my hands are all sticky and I want to wash them. Ugh. This is the philodendron pink princess that I just potted up along with its mama, which it's always putting out like new leaves, and there's lots of plants in here, but they don't all like look good. A lot of them just kind of look funky and weird, and it rips itself and comes out kind of deformed, so you know, it's fine. But this is what I'm most excited about here. It's this new philodendron squamiferum leaf. I had a joy watching this come out, but I think maybe it has something to do with the humidity lowering, or I did move this plant from my bedroom to down here, so the conditions changed, but it's coming out a little bit floppy, and that might just be because it needs to harden off still and all that, but yeah, it's a little bit awkward right now. We'll see, but it's a big leaf, and I'm obsessed with the fuzzy petioles as always. Also, my Gapertia Makoyana has been bouncing back, like it's not looking all wrinkly anymore. I did go in, I added some more soil, like I just like refreshed the soil, and there were some roots that were like, I think they had dry rotted is what it looked like. But yeah, she's looking a lot better now. I just got on top of watering her. I refreshed the soil, and she's seeming to make a recovery, so that's good. And then this is a Syndapsis Pictus exotica that I propagated a few months ago. It was outside all summer, and now it's just been popping off with growth lately for some reason. I don't know why, but it just is. And the mother plant is also popping off with growth, which I'll show you in a few minutes. So that's kind of fun. And then also what's doing well is my Calathea or Gapertia, whatever, ornata, because look at, it has 2 new growth points right here. Actually 3, here's a 3rd one. So that's super exciting. And this newest leaf that came out is really pretty, like totally flawless. Some of the other leaves just look kind of dumpy, but those were like old leaves that, yeah. This plant has been a journey for me, let me tell you. My Begonia Ariel, I went ahead and repotted it finally, and I moved it here instead of in the prop box. And he's doing well so far. I propagated a piece so that there's 2 plants in the pot. So fingers crossed he continues to do well. And this mother plant that I propagated from a month or month and a half back has already started to go nuts with growth again, of course. So there are some new leaves as well. This is what I propagated from it, along with some other plants. And then my rattlesnake Calathea, I'm pretty sure has some new leaves happening. Let's see. I could have sworn I saw, oh yeah, there's one little new leaf right there that's poking up. And then here's, oh yeah, there's a couple more, just like new leaves, new growth points, whatever. So that's really exciting. Pretty plant. Okay, as I mentioned before, right here is my Syndapsis Pictus exotica. Actually, toddler, having a toddler. This is what having a toddler looks like when they're asleep, and when they're awake, it's all over the floor. So right here is my Syndapsis Pictus exotica, and as I mentioned, she's been growing like absolute insanity recently. I think I featured her in my favorites video, but like even since then, she's been putting out even more growth. Like this is a new leaf too. And I'm just so thrilled that she seems to be so happy. So that's great. And then let's see, is there anything happening over here? I don't think anything out of the ordinary is happening in these corners. Like they're just always kind of growing. Although I need to do something with my Syndapsis Pictus argyrius, because this gal dries out so dang fast. Like I need to repot her, or like the problem is I want her to stay in this size pot because that's symmetrical with the rest of the pots that are like hanging on the wall. So I don't know, maybe I'll just like split up the plant or something, or just propagate a new plant. I don't want to sacrifice the beautiful hanging plant vibe, so I don't know. We'll figure it out. And then there's the baby dozing off. And my micans, I recently took a bunch of cuttings off of for some friends and family, but always as always, thriving pretty much. These are like a bunch of my hoyas here in this window. Okay, this I'm excited about. All of my hoyas pretty much are getting the sulfur fungicide treatment when as I have time. So since I started treating, sorry, this is terribly backlit, but it is what it is. Since I started treating my Hoya carnosa compacta, like my normal one, like you can see there's the fungicide stuff on there. She started putting out new leaves like right here, like there's like a new growth point. So like this will be a separate vine that like goes off from this one. So I was not expecting that, so I'm super excited. So once I started treating her, she started growing, and that's like the first new growth that I've gotten from this plant in a very, very long time. And there's like one single pair of leaves down here that I had to like chop away because it was dying actually it was a combination of mealybugs and the flat mites. That's what the sulfur fungicide treatment is for. And if you don't know about flat mites, sorry, I'm just like assuming everyone knows. If you don't know about flat mites, basically you cannot see them with the naked eye. They tend to target Hoya, and if your Hoya is like not really growing or the growth is coming out like really funky or it's like losing leaves, stuff like that, that might be your problem, because that's been the problem with a lot of my Hoya I have found, because once I start treating them for the flat mites, they start growing and they're a lot happier. So yeah, there's this new section of growth that's happening, and I'm really, really excited and hopeful. And down here, as I started mentioning but didn't finish mentioning, there is a little new growth point starting just to the right there. It's really hard to make the camera focus on something so tiny. But yeah, there's one little new growth point. So that's happy. So right here is my Capercia zebrina that's just like on my table. I went ahead and repotted it, and I found that it was very root bound. So I think that that was contributing to the problem when I was talking about it, like in my video of like plants that are unhappy, plants that are struggling. This was one of the plants that was struggling. It's still kind of struggling. And on top of the fact that it was root bound, I also, a few days later, found spider mites on the plant. So yeah, I've been treating her for that. And she's still not doing super hot. But right here, we do have a new little, like a whole new growth point, kind of like a new leaf, but it's like a new stalk forming from the soil. So I'm very enthused about that, because this stalk right here just like totally died, and this one too, just during its struggle bus time. So I am very excited about that. And yeah, if you ever wanted to see my whole house, it's kind of decluttered, but it's not perfectly clean. It's not as clean as I want it to be. I like things to be clean, but it's yeah, that's my living room and dining room area. Wow, I feel like I shared a whole lot more than I planned on sharing. Actually, I had like a raging headache just before this video started. I took some Tylenol just before I started filming this video, and it's starting to like kick in, so I don't have as much of a horrible headache as I did before. So I'm like feeling a little bit more energy, but I'm still like kind of loopy and tired. So yeah, I did end up talking and sharing a lot more than I expected to. I'm sure that I forgot something, but as I was walking around, I was like, oh wow, like there's this thing that I haven't told you guys about. Oh my gosh, my hair again. I'm just gonna take it out because these little bangs, like they're kind of cute, but they're not styled, so they're like flopping around. There, actually, that's nice. We have the post braid hair happening, Anyways, so yeah, I feel like I did a lot more talking. Yeah, it's really fun and exciting to share some plant updates in progress, just because, I don't know, I personally love looking at other people's plant collections and following along with them and seeing how they grow over time. Like, that's one of my favorite parts about following plant YouTubers, is just following that plant journey. So if you feel the same way, let me know. All that to say, I'll see you in a few days. Hi. as I mentioned before, I want to rehab some plants. So let me show you the plants. So the first one is, of course, my Hoya compacta variegata. Yeah, she's a mess. I'll probably let you have a better look at her. So yeah, very scraggly and desperate need of assistance. So that's her. And then the next one, this peperomia, which I don't know that it's a rehab per se, but it does need some help. I appreciate its funky nature, you know, but I do think that it needs some actual help here. It's a really cool plant actually, but it does need some actual help because it's kind of attenuating. It is losing leaves at the bottom, so like this stem, for example, is super bare. And I just picked off more and they're yellowing, and you know, I think that it's because the soil is really compact. It's also the soil that it came in, and the soil that it came in sucked because I just never bothered repotting it. Although something that is kind of fun, I did chop it just to experiment. I chopped it, and when I chopped it, 2 new stems emerged from where I chopped it. So I guess that's a way to get a full plant. So I'm not very confident in peperomia rehab at all. So I don't know, but we'll cross that bridge in a few minutes. All right, so here's what we're working with right now. I'm gonna go ahead and uppot this because I'm just curious to see what the roots look like. There's probably gonna be a lot of dead roots in here because there were several other plants in this pot before, and honestly, I'm convinced there was a lot happening with this plant, as I mentioned before. So yeah, look at that. I guess I'll clean that out later. Okay. So yeah, as I suspected, there are a lot of dead roots in there. They look so sad from like those other plants that used to be in the pot. And then as for this plant itself, let's see. Yeah, just dead. So much dead. That's so depressing. Yikes. Yeah, this plant's roots are also so shot. It's really sad. If you're ever wondering what like root rot or like brittle roots or whatever look like when you touch them, they just kind of fall apart, and like this outer part of the root like slips off, and you just get that like thin brittle part of the root. Yeah, that's a classic sign of like root rot or dry rot or something along those lines, where the roots are goners. So yeah, it is what it is. So I'm probably gonna like just chop all of these dead roots. I don't know if there are any that are salvageable, to be completely honest. Yeah, like I said, this plant had all kinds of problems. It had mealy bugs, it had flat mites, and it seems that it also had root rot. So yeah, not great. Ugh. All right, we're just gonna chop all of these roots. There is this like one middle root that seems mostly fine. Actually, no, I'm kidding. We're just going to chop all of them. All of them. I'm just gonna chop right here. And we're gonna start over completely with each node. Ugh. So that's what we're left with. I have taken the top 2 leaves already, and it's already rooted in perlite. But I'm gonna go ahead, before I cut this up, I think I'm gonna go spray this down with an alcohol and dish soap mixture, because that's what I did with the last cutting, and just like rinse off all this sulfur fungicide, because it's done with its treatment, I think. and I'm just gonna start over completely fresh and clean it up. So I will be right back. Okay, so here it is completely washed off. It looks, honestly, that was really satisfying. So it doesn't have any more of the sulfur fungicide. I sprayed it with a dish soap and alcohol and water mixture to just kill anything, clean it off, etc. So we are starting fresh. I also just realized that my husband's playing guitar downstairs, just for funsies. So if you can hear that, I mean, I'm sorry, I guess. Just with each pair of leaves, basically. And I try to leave as much stem as I can, really. I haven't propagated Hoya a whole lot, so if there's a better way to do this, I mean, I'm open to that. If you have suggestions, but I just try to leave as much stem as possible because the roots will grow all the way. Oh no! That sucks. This leaf just like fell off. So that's just a loss. But it's okay. Again, we are starting fresh. Okay. And then, should I keep that all as one piece? Maybe. I think I will. Alright, and then I am running low on both sphagnum moss and perlite, so I just went ahead and mixed them together into this. So I've seen people do that. I actually kind of like it because I like using both sphagnum moss and perlite in general, and I can never really decide which one I want to use. So maybe I'll just start mixing mine together and, you know, it'll be fun. So I'm just sticking them in here, and hopefully they will root because I'm gonna put them in my little humidity box, prop box thing, where it's like probably like 100% humidity almost. Hopefully these guys root, and you know, I'll be able to make them each into kind of their own individual strand and get a pretty full plant out of it. That would be the goal. So yeah. Okay, now here's the plant that's kind of the doozy. Oh my goodness. This soil is all compacted and awkward, so I think I do want to start fresh with new soil, and I think I'm just gonna take cuttings. Because look, I mean, all of these leaves are falling off and stuff. I don't know that it's worth trying to keep all of it. So I think I'm just gonna take some cuttings and stick them directly into soil and just kind of create a new plant and start over. I do have, oof, okay, let's just leave that there. I do have a critical mass of cuttings that I've rooted in water, and you know, as expected, they rooted quite readily. And peperomia roots kind of intimidate me because of how delicate they are, but they do root very quickly. So what I'm thinking is, if anything, hopefully these guys will succeed in the soil, you know, even if the rest of the cuttings don't take. And I don't know if I mentioned what kind of peperomia this is. I think I purchased it as a peperomia red log, but let me double check what the actual botanical name is, and also just double check my memory with this. Oh, well, it's still in the original nursery pot. So yeah, red log peperomia, $6.99. So, you know, it didn't break the bank. Okay, botanical name, I think I was correct before. It's Peperomia verticulata or viticulata. You know, I don't know how well you can see that, if at all. There we go. So I'm just gonna go with that. I'm just gonna start over fresh with fresh soil that I actually like. And some of these leaves are like rotted and dead. So maybe I should pull them off, but I don't really want to touch them right now. So we're just not gonna do that. soil. So here is the critical mass, I guess. Actually, I feel like I should pop this up deeper. So let's start over and just pour the soil in this in the middle. I'll start with that. And then I think I'm just gonna take a few cuttings and stick them in there. So this is just the start. But I'll take some more cuttings, stick a few in there to fill it out a bit. And then I might stick a few more cuttings into this water just in case. So let's see, I'll just try to pick out the ones that look the cutest, I suppose. Because a lot of these are very questionable. So let's see. And it's interesting how the leaves fold down. I wonder why they do that. Maybe they actually like go up and down and I just haven't noticed. I don't know. If any of you guys are experts with peperomia, let me know because I don't know what I'm doing, like at all. Alright, and then I'm just gonna remove these bottom leaves because that'll just give more room on the stem for me to just kind of stick it in the soil, you know? Yeah, I think that'll work pretty well. So that is the first guy. And I'm just gonna keep doing that. So I think that's a pretty decent plant right there. I have no idea how much, if any of these are really going to take to the soil, but I hope that they will, so I'm gonna water them in, and then I'll stick a few of these back into this water. And don't worry, I'm putting them here for safekeeping for now, but I fully intend to take the water and you know, I fully intend to refresh the water, so please don't be overly concerned about that. But this is a random cashpo that I have. Actually, I think that's quite adorable. So that's the result for now. Like I said, I'll water that in, and I gotta clean up this mess, which will be, that's my least favorite part about all of this, is like the hassle of setting it up and cleaning it up when it comes to like repotting and plant projects. Like, I love doing the plant project itself, but actually cleaning it is kind of annoying. But you know, it's okay, we're fine. There I am doing it again. Oh my gosh. I'm like, it's okay, it's fine. Ugh, shut up, Joy. It's not okay sometimes, and it's okay for things to not be okay, I guess. Well, overall, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and I'm very excited about this guy. But I suppose with that, this is all I really plan to do this week, and honestly, this video might end up being kind of long anyways. The last couple of videos where I've done this sort of thing, I feel like, or maybe it's only been one video. Honestly, I can't remember. But I feel like my last couple of videos have been on the longer side, so I don't know. Let me know if you guys like that. And actually, I would love to hear about what you guys are interested in me filming, like what you guys like. Like, do you like things like this where I just kind of film my week in spurts? Do you prefer more sit-down videos that are kind of like heavy content oriented? Or do you like plant shopping? Do you like plant chores? Do you like care videos? I don't know. I'm very curious. I would love to get some feedback on what you guys like to watch, because I obviously want to make stuff that you guys want to see, you know what I mean? Like obviously I do want to make things that I want to make and that I enjoy making, but I think there's an intersection of, you know, things I like to make and things that you guys like to watch. So hopefully we can hit that sweet spot, because that's what I want to do. It's kind of part of the point is that I have people tagging along for the ride, you know. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, if you subscribe, if you comment, talk to me. Those are all really wonderful things that I appreciate. With that, I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.